With so many different platforms,
Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter,
and their purposes evolving daily, navigating social media can be, well, complicated. Welcome to the Social Media Sucks podcast from Cubco.
Social media really sucks.
Where we unpack the latest trends and help remove the suck from social media.
Hi guys, welcome to the Social Media Sucks podcast. Nice to have you here. And today we have Chris Cobinus, our CEO of Cubco. And
Hey,
then
what's up, guys?
Our honored guest, Eric Ziengs.
Precisely, yeah.
Yes, from
Nailed it.
GoBoat. Yes, nailed
Yes.
it. The CMO from GoBoat. Nice to have you, Eric.
Thanks for inviting me. It's going to be fun.
Of course. And today we're going to uncover a little bit about marketing for a experience company, experience brand, and hope that Eric will enlighten us with his knowledge and insights.
Yes, I'm very looking forward to it. Maybe you can tell us a little bit about what GoBoat is.
Maybe I should tell a little bit about what GoBoat is, and you can kind of match if it's. I guess because I know a little bit about. GoBoat.
Do you?
Of course.
We do too. We went on GoBoats for our summer party.
So let me try.
Really?
Let an outsider.
Tell me, and then
exactly.
Let's tell the expert, and
I'll
let's
let
you know if you're right.
Exactly.
Okay, good.
Yeah. So I'm going to do it short and sweet. I think GoBoat is a experience company trying to make the beautiful Copenhagen canals, available, accessible for locals, tourists, by renting out sustainable boats for a maximum of 8 people.
Wow.
Yes.
You've been on the websites?
And you have expanded. I have it in my notes.
Exactly.
And you actually, during the couple of years, expanded quite a lot to different countries with waters like Netherlands and Berlin. Sweden?
Actually, not in the Netherlands, but in UK and Australia, we have, I think, 3 locations in each country, and then we're in Malmö and in Copenhagen and Aalborg.
Yes, all right. Did I hit the mark? I think it was pretty on point, right?
It was. It looks like we're doing our marketing relatively good. Yes, exactly.
So,
You did great. I think that's, now I got a sense of it. Yeah. Mm-hmm. But it's been very interesting seeing the rise. You've been there for how many years now? Just 1 year. Just 1 year. Okay, yeah. But it's been interesting seeing like sort of the inception of it 5 years ago, maybe. In 14. So it's so a little bit more, 6 years. So 6 plus, and then to where it is today. I mean, it's very ubiquitous in a sense. Like everybody in Copenhagen at least knows GoBoat and knows where, how to use it and how to go about it, and I think that's a very exciting thing to be in. Can you tell us a little bit about your particular role? Yeah, so I'm the CMO of GoBoat. I started a year ago. And just for context, before that I worked at an NGO called Videnscenteret Bolius. Okay. They don't sell anything, so that's probably also why I stopped after 6-7 years, because I wanted to sell something again. Okay. It's good for a marketer to sell something, right? Get that sense. But it's nice also to work with stuff that's not only countable in dollars or euros or whatever. Yeah, true. A little bit of good feelings as well. I did that, and before that I did a lot of PR and strategy at various agencies. Okay, cool. Great. And so you've worked on our side as well. Yeah. Okay. Nice. Yeah. Great. But then I left the dark side, and everyone says that.
I don't think it's a dark
Everyone's
side.
like,
I came back from to agency actually, so I guess you
joined back to the dark side. You were vaccinated, and you could take it.
I think this is the white side. I cannot say the light side.
I like both sides. Yes. The pluses and minuses on each side. But I just right now I really enjoy working on this side of the fence, and also because I really like to do a lot of stuff. So I work at GoBoat, obviously. Then I do I have my own company. Do a little help with marketing for other companies. Kind of stopped that, but now I do my health marketing podcast since 2014 as well. Yeah, and I've written the only Danish textbook about digital marketing that includes all of it. Okay, so they use it at various at CBS and at Erhvervsakademier and a lot of places. What's the book called? It's called Health Marketing Bogen. Okay, great. So you've got the podcast and the book sort of combined. Yeah. Oh, that's nice.
We should have done a giveaway of the book.
We can still do that. We can still do it. We can still do that. Yeah.
And just because I don't want to bore myself, I also co-own a physical therapy and training center on Amager called Performance Lab.
Wow, you're doing a lot of good stuff, man.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
I really like it. And
busy.
And the good thing about this is that when I do the podcast or write for the book or something in GoBoat or in Performance Lab, whatever I do, I can mostly reuse some of the knowledge or the experience from one place to another place. Yeah. So that's just really really
it's
nice.
good. It keeps you sharp, right?
Yeah,
So you're not just stuck on one thing. Yeah. You're kind of experiencing all over the place. That's great. Okay, cool.
Thank you for the introduction.
Yeah, that's super nice.
Sure.
Let's dive straight into it.
Yeah.
I mean, let's bring it back a little to GoBoat. So as I imagine, it's a company that sells experiences. But how do you market real life social experience on social media in a digital way?
Yeah. So when I look at it, obviously it is an experience that we want to sell. Yeah. It's not rent a boat, go out, come back. That's the most boring part of it. Right. Obviously, a very important part of it because security and we want people to have a nice time out there. Yeah. But what we really want to do is have them have an experience on the water that really opens their horizons up, so they can actually see the city, whatever city they're in, from another perspective. Right. Because if you walk down a street and you look over the water, it's nice. But if you sail on the water and look up to the street or up to all of the places that you probably know in the city that you live in, it's just another experience.
It's a new perspective.
Yeah. It's a new perspective, yeah. And also because it's sustainable boats, so the engine, it's on sustainable power, so there is no gas and smell and noise and stuff like that, which also means that now we're sitting at this table. Our table in the boat is a little smaller, but otherwise you can sit 8 people around the table in the boat and have some tapas or have a drink or a water, and then just sail as leisurely as you want to. So if you want to go fast, don't go with GoBoat. And we're actually saying that because we don't want people who are into who want to go on a speedboat and stuff like that. Go on a speedboat. That's fine. But that's not what we want. We want people to slow down, slow living. #slow living. You probably heard of that. Yeah. And so that everybody has a nice time. Yeah. And the best way of actually answering your question now is taking all of this, and let's say we 3 and each of us has a friend with us. Then we're 6 people in the boat. And you're just enjoying yourself with your best friends or with your family or whomever it may be. Yeah. And that means that you want to share this. Yeah. And obviously, we've got the hashtags that we really want to push in Instagram and Facebook, all of that stuff that you guys know and that everybody who listens to this knows as well. So we're just trying to push like slow living and
just user-generated content, basically.
Yeah. And
so you're also segmenting people a little bit when you take that stand, right? Like you are like when you're saying, okay, slow living or just relaxing, a calm sort of experience. It is very much like giving you your target audience at the same time. Like it's very much positioning you guys in that way.
No, you're right. Because last year, the Corona year, where people couldn't really do anything. So we got a lot of people who actually wanted to go out and do anything. Yeah. And they couldn't go to the clubs, to the bars and stuff like that. So they brought a lot of alcohol with them on the GoBoats. Yeah. And we don't want that. No. So we already had a rule that you can drink two, let's say 2 beers or 2 glasses of wine or something like that. But that's it. But people just wanted the alcohol and go crazy.
Typical Danes.
Yeah. That's what we do in Denmark.
Everybody in the world. It's not just Danish. It's everybody.
No, but you're right. But last year was very, very much more than it was than it usually is. Yeah. So we take the people's alcohol. We don't drink it. We just put it somewhere and say you can't take that on here. Yeah. We sell some alcohol, but only if we 3 people, then we sell 1 bottle because we don't want people out there getting drunk and falling out on the water or
It's important also from a social media perspective because people, like you said, people share the experience with their family and the friends, and and their social network, right? So if they're on the boat and they're just trashed, taking selfies, it's going to just get across that, okay, this is the place that we go to get trashed on the water. And that's not going to help you guys at all, right? So I think it's an interesting thing that you guys have said, okay, we need to take a standpoint here. Yeah. Otherwise, our brand and what we're positioned as is going to be compromised. So.
It's good for security.
Yeah.
Because drunk people are not as secure as... and it's good for the fellescape. I know it's the social sociability of being together. Yeah. But fellescape and hygge are two good Danish words that we really want to use here. Because you want to have a drink, but you don't want to get drunk. Because if you want to get drunk, go to club. Yeah. And when you're in that mood, when you're just enjoying yourself, you're not too drunk, you're just happy. Yeah. When you're happy, then you want to share the happiness. Yeah. And if we are good at it, then we can push the hashtags on you. But otherwise, just take the selfie while you're there. And it's all about the people. Yeah. Obviously, we have the blue boats. We're the only ones with the blue boats in the harbor, so they are very recognizable. Yeah. So mostly often you will see the blue boats on the pictures, and that's enough for us. Yeah.
Do you guys need to do a lot of like engineering of your social for that, or do you think like is your social? I imagine being an experience company, a lot of their social media comes somewhat natural because people are sharing. And that is the point. It is a sharing experience.
Yeah, you're creating a frame and you want, your people using it to fill it out, right?
Yeah, but you don't necessarily have to manufacture it as much, or do I have that completely wrong?
No, you're right, because what is very important when you do experiences is creating the right experience. Yeah. So we don't want the drunk people. We don't want people going out alone on the boat. I mean, you can, but nobody will. Yeah. And so if you have the experience that's really nice, we give you routes that you can go on. You can do whatever you want. We help you. If there's anything wrong with anything, there's a phone number you can call. So then the security is in place, and we for this year we implemented that you will get some security questions, like a little test on how do I steer the boat, where should I go when the bigger boats in the harbor when they come around, and so on. So making sure that the people feel safe, they have a great experience together with their friends. That just makes people want to share.
And that's what's going to carry it forward even more. Yeah, makes sense. I love that.
You have, but you have obviously a competition around the harbor. It's not only you, actually, the blue boats. There's like Hey Captain and then some other. You're doing a great job. I can't remember any of your competition.
No, let's not talk about them.
Yeah, exactly. There's no other competition.
Yeah, exactly.
You can swim or you can be on the GoBoat.
Exactly.
That's
nothing else.
That's it.
All you got.
Yes. But what do you take in consideration when you target your audience? Actually, we touched a little bit on it, but how do you target them, and how do you differentiate yourself from your competition?
Yeah, so if you look at the people at Hey Captain, they have a captain on the boat. If you go with the channel tours, you'll be crammed in with 50, 100, 200 people and have the same experience, and you have to listen to it in Italian, then in English, then in German, then in Dutch, then in whatever language.
It's not self-directed.
No. So you can't decide what you want to do yourself. And obviously now I'm saying it in a little teasing way to our good colleagues out there.
Hey man, I love competition. you gotta be competitive.
Yeah, and this is a way to differentiate ourselves. So with us, you decide where you're going to go, and you decide what you want to see. And now we are working on making more routes and information on the routes, because we obviously know that they have some good stuff as well that we don't have yet. But digitally, we can create like a podcast. Go this route, or
and it just plays, and then you can listen to it. Yeah, that's very popular.
So something like that you can do, or just print out routes that they can do, make an app with routes. There's a lot of things that you can do there.
It's almost like augmented audio reality.
Yeah.
It's very popular.
So looking at those competitors that are out there, what are they good at, and where are we stronger? So try to steal whatever they have that's good, and really push the things that we are, in our opinion, better at than they are.
Yeah, it makes total sense. Cool.
Which platforms, when we talk digital, do you think gives you guys the most value?
Well, that's a really difficult question, because The problem obviously also already arises if you look at last click attribution. So if you only look at the last click before somebody books, then SEO is very strong for us because our brand is very, very strong. When we open in a new city, our SEO is not as strong because nobody will search for the brands because our brand is not strong enough. So then we need to go into a search engine, SEM, and maybe some paid social and stuff like that. So I don't really look at what channels are strongest. I look at what combination of channels will result in bookings.
Do you guys have a model now that's worked sort of some places and it just carries through, or is it totally different per city? Or
well, it's a bit. I've been a year, so I've tried to find out what works, and now we're there where I want to make the actual strategy on how to do it. And since obviously I work for the Copenhagen part of it, but also since Copenhagen owns the brand obviously, and the other ones are franchises. Then we want to push out the good stuff that we can find together with our franchise partners obviously, but they have their own
way of doing it.
Yeah, they have their own way of doing it and their own marketing people. But obviously, we still want them to be within the brand. And that's always a good talk to have.
There's key learnings that you have there that you can also say, like, here, this is what we've discovered. So, okay, so from you look at it holistically, which I think is a very good idea, because I think a lot of companies get caught up in performance marketing, only looking at last click attribution, and they're like, we got to throw more money on Google, or it's like, okay. But then where's all the brand building? Where's all the audience building?
But the interesting here is like, how do you activate your online community? Because it's a lot of user-generated content. That's the reason why I asked the platform where you see most value, because obviously you can't control all the content. SEO obviously you can't control, but all this great user-generated content that they actually use for this social experience, you kind of, do you curate it, or what do you do to activate all this?
Sure. One very basic thing that we do, so if people share a story on Instagram from their ride, then we repost it. It's so very basic, but it's very, very good to do because you want people to feel appreciated, and we can show that, these people, they had a really nice time to all of the people who follow us. And then you go back to, you go to the dream of what you want to do, and not just booking a boat. So we want to have fun together. We want to have sail. We want to have the sun. It's all the nice things that you can think of, and that's what we want to sell, and that's what people want to share.
The feeling.
So that's in that way it's relatively easy because people share what we want to provide to leads and customers and followers.
There is a lot of brands though that I think miss out on the user-generated content. We see that a lot in the work that we do. It's like, wow, there's like, you basically uncover just a ton of UGC, and you're like,
what to do with it?
Yeah, exactly. And I think that a lot of brands feel like, ooh, is that, they have too many maybe layers of compliance, and like, has to be through this and that person. And it's like, at the end of the day, it's like somebody who loves your brand or likes your brand is sharing something. Let's get it out. Let's see if it even in Instagram stories, I think that's one of the places that's been really great for brands because it's not in the feed. You don't have to curate it as much. Just share it on Instagram stories, and it gives you this permission
and it's
to
gone.
sort of share that. Yeah, exactly right. So I think that's been a really good thing for brands. But still, some brands just do not tap into it, and I think it's a big missed opportunity.
But to be concrete on some other things that we do, so when you sail back and you park the boat, you sail in this way, and the first thing you see there is a poster that says our hashtags and our Instagram handle, so GoBoat CPH.
Makes sense.
Because obviously people will share, but we can help them a little.
Yeah.
So, and that's what we want to do with stuff like this. Yeah. They will get emails because obviously they need to have an email on
bookings.
Bookings, when to sail,
right.
And
so you're
reminder.
Them, hey, you can share this and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, and try to push them over to the mostly to the Instagram feed because that's the most local we can be. Facebook is not as strong on that part.
No, and it's not as visual and sort of selling an experience, right?
No. So, and then we talked about should we go on TikTok, because it should be relatively easy to start something there because it's like a new platform and they're really hungry, and we could probably get a lot of exposure. But is it the right exposure? Young people and obviously older people will get on there as well now. Yeah. But then it's just about how many resources do we have? Yeah. So for now, I don't think we're going to go there. Maybe at some point we will, but for now we won't. And then what we
brands on TikTok has been pretty amazing. Like it's been crazy how much reach is available there.
But this happens every time you have a new social channel. You get a lot of reach in the beginning. Yeah. They lure you in, and then at some point they do the Facebook trick about taking all of the reach away, and now you can pay. Yeah. So that's
it's like get everyone in the casino.
Yeah.
And then like shut the doors.
Pay up, people.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
But what we're doing now is, and this is also from one of your first questions, very important, is when you're an experience company, then I sit at the office most of the time. Let's say 80-90% of the time my work is at the office in front of a computer. So I don't interact with the people who are out sailing. But our crew, all the relatively young people who are at Islands Brygge or Teglværket, or they are in Aalborg, wherever they are, they talk with our customers every day. They help them with whatever they need help. They welcome them. They're happy. They're smiling. All of the good stuff that you need to do when you do customer services and experiences. So last year and forever, we've had crew who knows precisely what to do. But this year we've taken some of the crew people and I don't know if you can say promoted, because I don't know if they feel like marketing is better than what they did, but at least expanded the work that they need to do. Yeah. So I think it's a handful of people that we chose who are going to take pictures of people, who are going to do exit interviews, who are going to do case interviews just on a phone.
Yeah, it's perfect.
And when the boat comes in and ask them, did you have a nice trip? Yeah. And if they say, no, it was horrible, then don't ask them about anything social. Just make sure that they're happy when they leave. Yeah. But if they say, it was great, and this, and blah, 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 then you ask them, can I take a picture of you guys?
So it's live reviews, kind of.
Yeah, precisely. Yeah. Can I take a picture of you? Yeah. We'll put it on our Instagram. Can I tag you guys? Yeah. Obviously, we need, for GDPR reasons, we need a consent on that.
Yeah, of course.
But that's what we really want to do, because if we got 3, 4, 5 people in there, tag all of them, and at least 1 or 2 of them will probably repost, and then we get into their networks. Yeah. Yeah. And that is, from my perspective, really, really valuable.
Yeah, that's you can leverage actually that it's in real life, and a real life experience, and you don't have to chase people down for a product review because they're already there.
I think you guys should actually get those bad reviews as well. It'd be really funny. Like, a seagull shit on me. It's probably like half of the bad experiences,
not enough
booze. Well, we didn't have enough alcohol, and a seagull shit on me, and I lost my ring, and that would be the best. And you can put them out on a campaign somehow.
Often the bad reviews will come from themselves. We don't really need to push those when people are annoyed by something, and it's fair that people are annoyed. Yeah. But sometimes we got people, and they give. Last year we had a group of young guys, they're probably 18, 24 or whatever, and they were really drunk, and they were so mad that we threw them out, because in the middle of somewhere we found them. We have a service boat that just sails around. And mostly to help and to make sure that everything is okay. But when we see something like that, we just need to, okay, guys, you actually signed that you're not going to get drunk, so we need to throw you off now. Both for their security and for the other people in the harbor as well. So these guys, they were really mad, and so I woke up the next morning. I was probably in the weekend. So on Monday, when I looked at the reviews for the weekend, I've got like 5 reviews on all the platforms that you can find, the Trustpilot, TripAdvisor and Maps and all of them. And then I go into hunting, okay, why are these people so mad? And I can find, it was Saturday around 4 o'clock, and then I speak with the crew guys, and then we find out, okay, it's probably these guys, because they are anonymous, but mostly you can find them anyway. And we have the contact information on them. So one of the founders, Casper, he's really good at talking with people on the phone, especially when they're not crazy drunk. So we called them on the Monday and talked about them. You know, guys, we're not an upstart anymore, but we're a small company.
Yeah, we need this.
We need this. And you guys, you were drunk. You broke the rules. So
can we do something about this?
And he spoke with them, and they could not understand that. So it was really nice, and they removed all of their criticism.
Okay. That's nice.
And it's not that we're going to do if it was our fault, then we're not going to do that, because then it's our fault. Then we need to learn from it. We need to be better. But stuff like that, and we really want to.
It really shows initiative, right? To focus on this and understand that digital reviews are where people go. Instantly, it's like, okay, this service looks good. Let's see what everyone else is saying. And then if it's like, ooh, some bad ones, then you're like, I don't know if I want to do this, right? It really puts a sort of a stick in your decision-making process, right?
Well, what kind of reviews do you look at when you...
I always go to the negatives.
Really?
The first thing I go to is the negatives. Yeah, absolutely. Okay. Yeah, I want to see how bad is this really? What is and I can assess if that person's crazy or not, right? You kind of go okay, that person's crazy. Okay, that person's crazy. Oh, that person's not so crazy. All right, interesting. And then
how reasonable it is.
Yeah, and also how recent it is. Reasonable and how recent. If it was
something 5 years ago.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, okay, they probably had something wrong and they cleaned it up. But I always go to negative reviews.
I always go from if you have 5 stars, I go from the 2 to the 4s.
Okay.
I don't read the 1s and not the 5s.
Okay.
Because 5s,
That's an interesting.
And the 1s are just annoyed people.
You want
the
middle of the ground.
Yeah, I want to find out what
middle
they
ground
think.
is.
Yeah.
That's probably good, because that's probably the sort of level that it will be at, in a service or like a product or something like that. That's interesting. I'm going to try that next time.
But I mean, if you have something that has a 1 or a 1.5 or something, then I don't even think I'm going to go there, because they're not going to be any 3s or 4s or 5s.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's true.
Interesting. What do you think it's pros and cons about, you market for social experience contra versus actually a product in itself? It's a social experience. Where do you think it's your force, and where do you think you kind of lack this concrete product?
Yeah. Well, when we have people out sailing, we have a relationship with them at that point. But this relation stops relatively fast after they leave us. We try to keep that going digitally through emails or whatever. We're actually creating we call it GoBoat Plus. Just like any other company, that puts a plus on there.
Is it a streaming boat service? Can I get boats just on my computer?
And the Hulk will come after you if you drink too much.
Boat every time.
Yeah. No, it's not like Disney Plus, but what we want to do here is try to get people closer to us and have them sail more often, and they get a rebate if they're members for various reasons. But the difference between the actual experience and the product is that when you buy something, you get it shipped home, or you bring it home for mostly shipped these days. And you probably seen all these examples from a web shop that puts a little candy in there, or a little heart or whatever. And those things are really nice. We can do that.
A jar of water.
Yeah, something. We can put that on the boats, and that's something actually I want to do now. Is our water has some paper etiquettes on it. And I want to use that more actively than just the name of the water. But as soon as they leave, they are going to go do something else. Hopefully they will remember this. So that's why we want to digitally be able to talk with them later on again through email or through social or whatever. And we, but we don't really have this prolonged use of the experience.
Yeah.
So it's up here and it's not in your hands anymore.
Yeah, that's true. It's an interesting product, and it's a hard product to, like, I guess, get repeat customers on, because it's when you've done it, you've sort of done it, and then you've got your fix for the next 6 months or a year or whatever. Like, how often do you go boat?
I think it's once a year or twice a year maximum. I think it's something interesting you said. Like, I don't think it's the activity you finish with, like of the day. I think it's something you start with, whether you go for a company or friends or something like that. Because at the time you sail is after work, or it's on the weekends. It's usually not something you end of the day. It's actually something that gets you. It's a gateway to another activity. So it's kind of like a pre-game activity. And
also because, at some point it's going to be dark.
Yeah, exactly.
And then you can't use our services anymore. So then you could go off to the restaurant or to the club or whatever and have fun. And that's good for us because, again, we don't want the drunk people. We want them before they get drunk. And then some other companies can take them when they are drunk.
But then you actually risk of people forgetting you because there's other activities in the pipeline, right?
Yeah, that's right. But what we really like to do is not only look at the person who is booking. So if you booked a trip for us three, then the connection that we have digitally is only to you.
Wow.
We know your
but
email.
You want the other people too, right? Yeah.
Yeah, but we don't know who you and I are. So what we want to do now is when we this GoBoat Plus set up, we want to use that to make you. We want you to share this with the other people on the boat, and if that's successful for us, then we are able to
extend it even more and like
make you take your parents and your kids and your family and me, my friends. Yeah. So, and since we have 8 people on the boat, maybe in 5 or 6, if you look at all of the boats, then for every person who books, we should have 4, maybe 5 people that we should be able to get, and just let's take half of that. So if we just can take 2 people from every boat that we can communicate
to,
and they buy it and they go up with 5 people. Who again we get to? Yeah, it's like what are those the evil Tupperware people, like the pyramids.
Pyramid scheme.
Yeah, we want to do something like that, but not the evil part.
No, it's multi-level marketing. If you bring one friend, we will give you a GoBoat next weekend.
But that's the thing, we apply for digital, right? If you kind of say you have one piece of hero content that you want to kind of cut down to very small pieces.
Yeah.
Yeah, reuse. Actually, when I was like 22 or something, and I went to the university in Aarhus. My job was to call people and sell them Donald Duck books.
Okay.
And not without my daughter, the really bad, those books, annoyingly bad books from Leatherman or whatever. It doesn't really matter what brand it was. Yeah. So I called them up, and I would get some money every time I sold one of these packages for 50 Danish crowns. And so, and often it was like women like 35, 40 years old or something with kids, so I can sell them the kid stuff. And then I sold them 3, which was the max. And then the last thing I would say to them, okay, because you actually bought 3 packages here, you are one of the few who get one extra possibility, and that is give this possibility to 3 of your best friends. And they would say, perfect. Yeah. I'll give you the number of Irene and Hannah and Louise. And then I'll say, thank you, I'll call them. Is it okay if I say hi from you?
Yeah.
Of course. Then I call them and says, this person just called me, I just got this possibility, and I'm off to the pyramids.
Yeah.
I love it. Yeah. This is exactly how GoBoat's going to work.
Yeah. Maybe with a with more morality than I had as 22-year-old.
Hey, as long as it's not Bitcoin or now it's NFTs. Yeah. All right.
Okay. I think we're kind of ready to maybe actually would you share with us your best social media success story? if any?
Yeah, that's really difficult. I don't really have one I can point to. Mostly because the way that we set up is that my colleague Signe and another colleague Laura, they do a lot of the social stuff now, and she also is the one who Signe. She is also the one who takes care of the crew members, make sure that they know what we need. So I can't really point to one thing, but I think. From my perspective, the way that we use social and the value that we get from it, from these, both from TripAdvisor but also Classic Social, the evaluations that we get there, user-generated content, that we can reuse that and repurpose it in email marketing. Or we can make a wall of all of these things that have been said, maybe put that at Islands Brygge or at the location. I mean, I really like when you are able to take all of the channels that you have and the content on these channels and then reuse as much as possible, because it's going to be cheaper and it's going to be, especially when you use user-generated content, it's going to be more valid and more believable than when I say that GoBoat is the best.
Way more authentic, yeah. I think you're right. I think that's a big social win for you guys, for sure. Yeah. Cool.
So lastly, do you have any advice? Maybe, Chris, you can also join in here. What's your immediate thoughts about experienced brands? What should they be aware of before jumping into the water? Pun intended.
Oh, God. I'll let you go first.
I need to... Just give me a sec after that great joke.
It floored everybody. Okay, I'll go then.
You go.
While you were too. I mean, so experience brands, it's a really interesting place because everybody wants experiences and doesn't want to necessarily, I mean, obviously we're consumers, but I think experiences have a special place in our hearts. And actually, when I think Corona's over, it's going to explode even more because we've all been sort of hankering for that sort of thing. And I think what brands have to do, and you guys have done it perfectly, is translate what the feelings that I get when I do this and translating that in their marketing and doing it in an authentic way. Because obviously there's experienced brands like staying at the Comwell Hotel or all this kind of stuff, and they don't necessarily, they give you maybe sometimes an inauthentic view of what that actually is, right? And it's like, okay, is this actually the meal that I'm going to have? Is this actually the sunset that I'm going to experience? And I think people can see through that. And if you can do it in a way where you're using the tools of the day to really show it, what does it smell like? Go up to the flowers, go up, get that sea sort of feeling like, okay, this is what it's going to feel like. This is what it can smell like. I think if you can do that, then you've got a good thing going for you. And I think one of those key ways is also influencers. So you guys are using your customers as influencers, but I'm sure you're doing influencer marketing as well. But influencers can really help you unpack that by, them documenting what the experience is like. So that's what I would say brands should do, experienced brands.
Yeah.
Any other thoughts?
What's your take?
Yeah, so looking at experiences, I think sustainability is something that's very important that we're looking at now.
Very good
point. If you can use 2 hours and a GoBoat is $8.99 in Copenhagen, you can use that or buy 2 T-shirts. I mean, who cares about 2 T-shirts? You've got plenty at home. And I think that there's going to be a change so that people want to go experience something that they can have in their head and really enjoy instead of having more material stuff. Yeah. So I think that's one of the good things that we have going for us.
And sustainability is definitely helping that trend,
Yeah. And then I think it's very important that when you work with experience, especially if you're more from a digital side, that you understand that it's not just digital. You need to have the analog stuff there as well. So if the experience is not good,
it doesn't matter what you do on social.
No. Yeah. I mean, hire an agency or 10 people or something. You can't really do anything.
That's a very good point.
So if you, I always like to compare it to a cake. If you just put some cream on top and make it look good, Then as soon as you cut into the cream and it's just a bad cake, then people will see also what you said just before. So make sure that the core product is really, really good and the experience is really good. And for us, safety is very important and the experience as well. And then try to build on top of that. I think those things are very important. And that also means that the people who speak with your customers, they need to understand what kind of company you are. So we do a lot of internal communications about this and why the three founders of GoBoat, Anders, Carl, and Kasper, why did they start it? What do they want to do with it? This is something that's the values and that we want to open the water for everybody. Why did they want to do that? And this is something the 20-year-old who just works for the summer for us, he needs or she needs to understand this. So if we can communicate this through the crew as well, then we're up and running. And then obviously you need to not only look at social, you need to look at all of the palettes that you have within the marketing possibilities. And these are both digital, but also the analog versions of it.
Yeah, super insightful. That's great. Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you for sharing. I think that's about it, what I had. So let me try to summarize a little bit of our talk with Eric here. We have uncovered GoBoat. Eric, insights from working with BoGoat.
BoGoat. That's a new one.
BoGoat.
We've uncovered Eric's insights from GoBoat, which is
BoGoat. I'll have to go to Deco Hostmaster and take that.
You can rent a goat. You can rent a goat named Bo.
Yeah.
And take it
it's
out for a ride.
competition for you guys.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, BoGoat. Well, actually, in this episode, we have uncovered that marketing a social experience, you should look at it holistically and not only focus on digital, but also leveraging all this user-generated content in all sorts of platforms, whether it's following up with emails or target them, retargeting your audience and making them actually just share this experience because it's a social experience that the digital and COVID times can't really unwrite. And also to... what to say?
You lost it.
Yeah. No, also focus on your core product, even though it's social. It's not. It's not
that's a big insight.
Exactly. Yeah. Even though it's not a product per se, you can get home after you bought it, but it's something you should streamline across all your platforms, which is this core product, this really smooth experience that you want to sell people, and that's what in the end will make them share.
And let me just add to that when you do experiences and you are at the marketing department or you're a legal, or it doesn't really matter where you work, you need to go out and try the products as a user yourself, but you also need to be like a crew person. Yeah. So you need to make sure that you talk with people, that you book them and get the money and say, do this and there. The route is this way, the safety, and here's how you steer and all of that we now have the young people doing. Everybody needs to do that to understand what the product is.
Yeah, because to get it under their skin.
Yeah.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. It's not just the service people, it's the entire organization.
Process, yeah.
Okay.
It's a wrap.
I think that's a good place to end.
So thank you guys for listening
to everybody.
Or maybe actually, Eric, you have experience in your own podcast. Do you want to say a few words about health marketing to our listeners?
Yeah, thank you. So if you want even more podcasting about everything marketing and sales,
we do.
And if you speak Danish,
we do.
Or at least can listen to it, then go to helpmarketing.dk, and I think there's like 260 episodes.
Holy crap.
Oh.
So you can just go crazy, and obviously we're on all the platforms that you normally listen to. So Help Marketing Podcast.
Great.
Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
Thank you guys at home, you listening, watching, whatever you're doing, please smash that like button, comment, subscribe, push all the buttons. Whatever buttons are there to push, just push them. Twice.
Crazy.
Just don't push the unsubscribe button. That's that's a bad button. So thank you so much, and we'll see you guys next time.
Thank you for listening. Bye.
Bye.
This has been the Social Media Sucks Podcast.